Welcome to the Policon, and thank you for keeping it Smart 24 TV, where we drive your business. Huge discussions that are rotating around politics and economics. It's what we normally have here on the show, the Policon. And of course, if you are one who is interested in socio-economic development ideas, conversations, this is the rightful show that you will be definitely looking up to. Smart 24 is on mainstream, channel 372, that is DSTV. And for the GOTV subscribers, you can get us on channel 394. And for those who want to stream live from wherever you are, the YouTube channel is Smart 24 TV Live, and then the website is www.smart24.tv/news. That is for real-time business updates, both local and international. Now, as we are kicking off this particular discussion, you get to realize universities are also trying as much as they can to release fresh graduates into the job market. There is a lot of competition. And this has actually led to a lot of crisis, while the job seekers normally try to compete for the few jobs available. And then this also poses lots of questions, especially rotating around our policymakers. Our policymakers making the rightful decisions, and are they being helpful to the community? In our discussion today, we are basically looking at how effective the legislative arm has been able to push, or has it been a fundamental role, has it played a fundamental role to help the young people or the youth achieve socio-economic development? Such a discussion is where we are rotating around. And joining me to discuss this and more, I do have Honorable Bernard Odoi, who is the youth MP representing Eastern Uganda. Yes, many thanks for joining us, Honorable.
Pleasure, always a pleasure to have interaction that impacts on the core of our population. That is the youth. And
a happy new year as well.
Yeah, thank you. It's quite an exciting one. We pray and hope that we deliver to the aspirations of who have given us the mandate.
Okay, a quick one here as we kick off our discussion. You do represent the young people, or what we could say the youth. This is they form up the largest number in the population.
That's right.
By the look of things now, from the Eastern Uganda perspective, when you look at it, how have the young people been able to engage in, for example, government discussions? Do they find themselves engaging in these discussions, or they are left out?
Of course, the honest truth is that what is happening in Eastern Uganda is more or less the same that happens across the country.
Okay.
That the young people who are the core of our population are only thought of during political season.
Yes.
When the National Electoral Commission opens up space for electioneering, that is when everyone will pick interest and look for this demographic. For one reason, because they are the core, because they are the majority. They have the energy, they have the space, and also the space that would ordinarily be occupied by the youth, since they are the majority. So you find that the elders come in and then use them for that purpose. It's absurd that after the electoral process is done, no one wants to know about what is happening to the youth, to the demographic that actually commands the majority of this country.
Hey, okay.
So by and large, I can't hide from the truth. The honest truth is that young people don't have meaningful participation in the political process
of the country.
Of our country.
Okay.
Whereas, of course, I must give one credit to the NRM as a party, that we have structures from every village. There is a college that forms the youth structure under the National Youth Council. But also living in multi-party dispensation.
Okay.
Some parties like NRM that I belong to have representative from the village level to the parish level, to the sub-county level, to the district level or division, and up to the national level. But the test is on the meaningful participation. That would be the essence.
Okay.
Now, whereas we have the structure
that has been put in place. Okay.
And during the electoral process, the youth feel, yes, we are participating in this.
They are so active.
Yes, we are part of the conversation. But beyond that, there is no space.
Okay.
I can give an example we had the elections in 2020.
The recent
National Youth Council elections, where we elected our youth representative from the village level to the committee of 9, to the parish committee of 9, to the sub-county or division for cities 9, district the same, and the apex, which is the national executive of the youth council. This would ordinarily be a very strong point and pillar for the representation of the interest of the young people, if it will be followed to the latter, that before any policy is brought on the floor of parliament, if there's a conversation on any matter, by the fact that the youth are over 70% of our population, that in essence means every conversation that we get involved in a way has a bearing on the youth. If you're speaking about health issues, to the extent of 70% is affecting a youth. So the conversation on education, health, whether it is road, employment, or climate change, in a way affects the youth. But quite often, in the kitchen where all this is baked, where the cooking, the ingredients are cut, to bring now a program that is intended to serve the aspiration of the youth, they are not involved.
Well, when you mentioned this, by the way, you did mention that when it comes to the political sphere, during the electoral process, conversations regarding the young people and being called up for more engagements is very is at the core. It's something that is always a priority. Where do you think the issue is? Why are we so quick to engage the young people, or why do the young people engage so faster in the political space than, for example, in concerns regarding the economic discussions in the country?
I think by and large it is because of one most important issue is lack of information. My brother, when you don't have information, you cannot make an informed choice.
Very true.
So because the majority of the youth lack this information, they are not able to make meaningful choices that will impact on them. The other reason is obvious, that because politics, electoral process has been highly monetized, that you need a lot of money for you to be a candidate and be meaningful, to pass, to win the election. Right from nomination, for one to contest for a member of parliament, the threshold is as simple as you must be 18 years and above, and the academic requirements, which is senior 6 or its equivalent. The other very stringent requirement is the issue of money, where you are required to pay 3 million shillings. Now, a young graduate who has just completed university, the parent has been selling maybe land or food to raise tuition, or because of God's grace, maybe they were bright and they were on government scholarship or any other scholarship. They have completed university, they don't have job, but have been active in the university politics, meaning they have the interest and aspiration to represent the interest of the fellow young people. But the requirement of 3 million shillings for a youth who has just left university, for a youth who has just completed senior 6, because senior 6 is the requirement. Where do you expect a senior 6 graduate who sat for senior 6 last year, 2022, assuming there's an election this year, like we have a by-election in Serere, assuming someone who is purely senior 6, they completed a year or two back.
They're in their vacation.
Yes, they're in their vacation.
Or they're past their vacation.
Yes, the law accepts them to be candidate. But then you put this seal that they must raise 3 million shillings. They've never worked anywhere. But even those who are working, it is not meaningful employment. It is disguised employment. Where do you expect them to get the money? Then the other issue is that those who have money now are squeezing the youth. The space that would ordinarily be occupied by the youth. It is being squeezed by the capitalists, by the few who control factors of production. They come with the money, of course use this money to divide the youth instead of having a mass force to pursue their interests. So they are then disintegrated for the selfish interests, for the few who have the money.
Okay.
Now that is the dilemma. But also government has not helped enough. It would be passed in parliament that for one to contest for a member of parliament or any political position, especially the youth,
yes,
there should be a waiver.
Okay.
That seal of 3 million shilling or 200,000 for one to contest as a councillor, for a youth who can ably represent their peers, I think is a hindrance to the service of interest of the young people.
Okay. And now you do belong to the legislative arm. As Member of Parliament for the youth. What are some of these particular initiatives that you do believe that the legislative arm or the legislators themselves, members of Parliament, the ministers in there, what are some of those initiatives that have been able to at least shape up the young people, or in any way, what are some initiatives have you been able to discuss that have at least laid a foundation for the youth development in any way?
One, I must give credit to the entire 5 youth members of parliament,
okay,
to where I belong, that we've had conversation with government, with the president, for a program like YLP, Youth Livelihood Program,
yes,
a program that had been there, but it was scrapped off before we came into parliament. And we felt it that whereas they had reasonable cause to scrap it off, but we are pleading that this is our own country. We believe we can be pardoned and the youth are given another chance. So I am glad to report that President Yoweri Museveni thought it wise and guided that now YLP, as we speak, this very quarter, money is now available, and this is an achievement for us as the youth members of parliament who took it upon ourselves to pursue this cause, because it is the only journey, it's the only direction that our young people can easily now pursue and have meaningful access to some resource. I want to have this on record that 2 years back, Uganda was ranked as the most entrepreneurial country in the world. If you look at our population, of course, the bulk of the entrepreneurs are actually youth. If you go downtown here, Kisenyi, Owino, and across the country, you'll find our brothers and sisters struggling. Even when you drive along the street, you'll find guys in chapati, bakery. But the issue of access to finance has been a big deal. We used to have programs where a young person, the youth fund, where a youth is required to go for this fund, but there was that seal that you needed, like a land title. You need a card that shows you own a car.
Yes.
Now, where do you expect a youth who is a graduate, who is not a graduate but enterprising?
Okay.
They don't have title, and you expect them to look for this?
Okay.
Their parents don't even own a plot of land.
I know.
How then do you expect them to be meaningful?
Okay.
So you realize the money, whereas it was meant to support and serve, the majority of our youth
did
who
not
were
benefit
in subsistence,
they
were not benefiting. It was serving the youth who were coming from background. The parents already owned properties because now they could represent it. And also furthermore, you would find that people who have properties would then identify the vulnerable youth, guide them, use their property as title, get the money, and they are not given to the young people. So I want to register that it's a victory for us that YLP is back. Maybe briefly, I should also comment on the PDM.
The parish development model, because that is where I wanted to come through. You realize as well, the parish development model funds, the money is going through circles, but most of the circles have people who are way beyond their youthful stage. So that means the activities within the circles will definitely have less intervention from the young people.
Exactly, as if that is not enough. The committee, the 11-member committee, which is supposed to sit in every parish and then assess the circles, to then pass or vary the application for the PDM money
Yes.
has only one youth. If you're speaking of a demographic where the population 70% are youth, how then do you put only 1%? That you all only one person, a youth chairperson,
Okay.
sitting on that committee
Yes.
to then be part of the team to verify those who qualify for the money.
Okay.
I don't think that is a service.
Okay.
But when they were baking this whole process in the kitchen,
Yes.
as youth members of parliament, we put in our interest and said, guys, as we pursue this,
Yes.
let's segment 30% of the resources for the youth. Let's segment at least 10% for the PWDs. They are also not thought of. That has not taken shape.
And of course, now as we push further, I would wish you as well understand, looking through the parish development model, you've mentioned of the youth livelihood program. Now let's get into an issue where the young people are getting involved. Is there in any way that the discussions that you have as legislators being able to at least scale up or put up, for example, a platform which is going to implement some of the things that you've mentioned? For example, at least trying to pull the young people into the money economy, not an easy thing to do for now, but it does look viable. So if you're to look at that, are there some of these particular kind of discussions that you've been pushing for that will see the young people get into this money economy?
Yeah, we have a deliberate program that we started last year.
Okay.
Where we hold training to disseminate information to the youth.
Okay.
Where, as youth members of parliament, as leaders, we then make a summary of the available government initiatives geared to support the youth.
Okay.
Because we've realized over time, most of our young people, most of our youth don't even get the information.
Yes.
So we believe that if we bridge the gap, the information gap, and take this information to them, but also train them and remind them that this is actually taxpayers' money,
Okay.
that we've done our part. Part of our cardinal role is to appropriate. So we tell them that we have appropriated this resource for you. So whatever belongs to you, we must wholesomely demand.
Yes.
So now we are charging the youth through the leadership available, the National Youth Council leadership. We are charging them to take meaningful center stage of leadership and ensure that a project in every sub-county must be communicated to the other youth in the village and at the parish. Then we've also given them hotline that within our districts we have a management team through the youth leadership, that if there is an issue down in sub-county A,
okay,
like where I come from in Mulanda,
okay,
the youth there should communicate to the team at the district so that we find a solution. There are reports, even on the PDM, where the technocrats have eaten the money. We are already speaking of close to 1 billion shilling already swindled.
Okay.
Many of them have been arrested. So for us to arrest this, we are informing our youth, giving them clear information so that they are ready to tap into this. But also, one thing that I need to register is that we are working on a motion,
okay,
which will translate into a bill, where we are demanding that one, if there is a contract within the district,
okay,
to the tune of 100 million,
okay,
30% of that contract should not be debated.
okay.
It should be for the young people.
First, let us get it more again. If it is a budget of 100 million,
Yes.
is it 70% of the entire amount?
No. We are, the conversation now that we are now cooking,
Okay,
and very soon it will come as a motion, then bill,
okay,
is to the effect that we amend the PPDA Act
okay,
to have specific provision to cater for this demographic, the 70% of the youth
okay,
of this country.
yes,
we want them to be considered into the money economy.
Yes.
We don't want issues of just verbal conversations. We want actions.
Okay.
By the time our tenure gets to the end, actually this very year,
Yes.
one of the hottest debates that is coming on the floor is our demand
Okay.
that for contracts within the local government,
Okay.
in every district across the country, should be coded within our statutes that these contracts are for the youth. Because we've seen projects where, like under State House, there's a skilling project where these young people go and they are skilled in welding, they're skilled in tailoring, they're skilled in so many other activities.
Okay.
And we are saying, when you've skilled someone in carpentry and joinery,
Okay.
when you've skilled them in auto mechanics, why then give this contract to some other people?
All right.
Why not start with this very demographic and empower them?
Yes.
So we want, then the other issue that we want scrapped off is the issue of requirement of bank security, bid security.
Okay.
That a young person like you,
Yes.
you have the skill.
Yes.
And your district has actually run an advert for supply of maybe hospital beds.
And
To
you.
the tune of 100 million.
Okay.
And you have capacity to do this.
All right.
But because you can't access the loan, that should then guarantee you
To be a viable
to be
candidate.
eligible bidder.
Okay.
This service is given to another rich man somewhere. Sometimes they even from another country, foreigners.
Yes.
We are saying no. If we love our country, we should love the citizens.
Yes.
If we are empowering them, we cannot stop on the way. Let's empower them
Okay.
and code these contracts for them. If they are making mistakes,
Yes.
why can't we get experts to then train them and become better so that they enter the meaningful economy where money is felt?
All right. And if you're just joining us and you're watching the Policon right now, we are looking at how effective the legislative arm is and has been in empowering youth social and economic development, especially around the conversations in Parliament, among legislators. Not only that, the discussions of different policies that are being put aside in that way or another. I'm still with Honorable Bennett, and we are definitely going to be right back immediately after the break to continue with this discussion and more other things that you've not been able to identify. And for the young people out there, how best can you tap into these opportunities? Have you been able to at least access information? And do you feel you should be able to access this information? Because sometimes it as well goes back to how the young people respond to the information. We may want to give you information, but then where is the energy? Do you have the love to at least get this kind of information? This and more are the discussions we are definitely going to be coming back with. Keep it here on Smart 24 TV as we return after the break with the Policon, where we discuss politics and economics.